Imagine you are at 35,000 feet. Behind you, 200 souls are sleeping, trusting their lives to a piece of machinery flying at 900 kilometers per hour through a freezing void. Suddenly, the master caution alarm pierces the silence. A red light flashes. Engine fire. In this split second, your DNA demands one thing. Your heart rate spikes, your vision narrows, and your prehistoric brain prepares to scream. But you don't. You can't. Because for an airline pilot, panic is a luxury that costs lives. In the next few seconds, you won't rely on luck or intuition. You will rely on a protocol, a brutal, cold, and calculated sequence of decisions designed to override human nature itself. This is the world of zero error, a world where a single degree of deviation in your mindset doesn't just mean a bad day at the office, it means a catastrophic headline. How do these individuals remain the calmest person in a falling metal tube? How do they manage thousands of variables while the world is literally burning outside their window? Today, we are deconstructing the aviation mindset. We are looking into the blood laws of the cockpit to find the universal principles of discipline that you can apply to your business, your career, and your darkest moments of crisis. Before we begin today's mission, a quick briefing. This is a brand new channel dedicated to the elite architectures of success. We don't do hacks. We do high-level professional self-improvement, deconstructing the world's most disciplined industries to help you master your own life. If you are a high performer, a business leader, or someone who is simply tired of the average, you belong here. Hit the subscribe button now and join this growing community of individuals who choose the discipline of the elite mindset over the comfort of the crowd. Let's build this together. Now, let's go to work. Section 1. The sanctuary of cold logic. In the ordinary world, perfection is a marketing buzzword. It's something companies put on mission statements and athletes tattoo on their arms. But in the ordinary world, if you fail to be perfect, you lose a client, you lose a game, you lose a night's sleep. In the world of aviation, perfection is not an aspiration. It is the baseline requirement for entry. Welcome to the cockpit, a pressurized sanctuary of cold logic, where the zero-error mandate isn't just a goal, it is a survival mechanism. When you sit in the commander's seat of a Boeing 787 or an Airbus A350, you are not just a driver. You are the final fail-safe for a machine composed of 4 million parts, hurtling through a near vacuum at 85% of the speed of sound. Most people look at a pilot and see a glamorous life. The crisp white shirt, the golden stripes, the view of 1,000 sunsets. What they don't see is the brutal discipline required to turn a flawed, emotional human being into a biological computer capable of making life or death decisions while the world is literally screaming around them. The statistics tell us that flying is the safest way to travel. But why? Is it the technology? Partly. But technology fails. The real reason aviation is safe is because of a culture of discipline so rigid and so unforgiving that it borders on the religious. Today, we are not just looking at how planes fly. We are deconstructing the architecture of the pilot's mind. We are going to explore how these elite professionals systematically kill their ego, automate their intuition, and embrace a level of accountability that would break most men. This is the blueprint for zero error. And if you can apply even 10% of this discipline to your life, your business, or your craft, you will become unfathomable to your competition. But this sanctuary of logic wasn't built on theories. It was forged in tragedy. To understand why a pilot's discipline is so absolute, we must look at the price paid for every lesson learned. We are entering the realm of the blood laws, where ego dies so that others may live. Section 2. The blood laws and the death of ego. Every rule in a pilot's handbook was written in someone else's blood. Aviation history is a grim timeline of lessons learned the hard way. Because of this, the pilot's discipline starts with a fundamental, brutal truth. You are not special, and your memory is a liar. This is where the death of the ego occurs. In most high-level professions, surgeons, CEOs, traders, experience often breeds a dangerous kind of pride. You start to think you've seen it all. You start to trust your gut. In the cockpit, trusting your gut is a fast track to a funeral. The most senior captain, a veteran with 30 years of experience and 50,000 landings, is still required to use a paper or digital checklist for the most basic tasks. He is not allowed to flip a single switch from memory. This is the checklist manifesto. It is a brutal form of humility. It forces the pilot to admit that under stress, fatigue, or distraction, the human brain is a faulty instrument. By following a standard operating procedure, SOP, the pilot removes the hero from the equation. The pilot doesn't try to be a hero, he tries to be a perfect executor of the system. In your life, how much do you rely on your talent versus your system? When the pressure is on, talent wavers. Systems do not. The brutal discipline of the pilot is the discipline of the checklist. It is the willingness to be a slave to the process so that you can be a master of the outcome. But this sanctuary of logic wasn't built on theories. It was forged in tragedy. To understand why a pilot's discipline is so absolute, we must look at the price paid for every lesson learned. We are entering the realm of the blood laws, where ego dies so that others may live. Section 3. Compartmentalization, the art of the mental vault. Imagine this. You are at V1, the speed of no return on the runway. Suddenly, a master caution light flashes. An engine has failed. The plane is heavy, the runway is running out, and 300 people are screaming in the cabin behind you. In that moment, a pilot does something that seems inhuman. They delete the noise. This is called compartmentalization. The human brain is wired for parallel processing, thinking about the problem, the consequences, the fear, and the solution all at once. A pilot's discipline forces serial processing. They shut down the sectors of the brain that deal with fear, future consequences, and why did this happen? They lock those thoughts in a mental vault and focus exclusively on the next 3 seconds. They follow the holy trinity of the sky: aviate, navigate, communicate. First, aviate. You do not talk to the tower. You do not check the map. You do not wonder if you'll see your family again. You keep the wings level and the nose up. You fly the airplane. Second, navigate. Once the plane is stable, you figure out where you are going. Third, communicate. Only when the situation is under control do you tell the world what happened. Most people fail in life because they communicate or navigate while they should be aviating. They worry about what people will think or where they will be in 5 years, while their plane, their business, or their health is currently stalling. The brutal discipline of a pilot is the ability to ignore the important to focus on the critical. It is the surgical precision of the mind to handle the present moment with zero emotional interference. But how do you stay calm when the world is burning? You don't rely on hope. You rely on the scars of your training. To reach the level of the elite, you must first survive the ritual of professional torture, a place where failure is the only teacher. Welcome to the simulator. Section 4. The Simulator and the Mastery of Catastrophe. Twice a year, every year, pilots are subjected to a ritual of professional torture, the simulator check. They are placed in a multi-million-dollar box that perfectly replicates the physics of flight. Then, instructors spend 8 hours trying to kill them. They don't practice the things that go right. They practice the things that go horribly, violently wrong. This is the discipline of negative visualization taken to its extreme. While the rest of the world is obsessed with positive thinking and manifesting success, the pilot is obsessed with simulating failure. They live through every possible nightmare: total electrical failure, cabin decompression, uncontrollable fires, until their heart rate doesn't even spike when the alarms go off. They have built muscle memory for chaos. Brutal discipline means recognizing that the time to prepare for a crisis is not during the crisis. If you wait until the storm hits to learn how to sail, you have already sunk. The pilot's mindset is one of constant aggressive preparation. They are the ultimate pre-mortem thinkers. Before every takeoff, they conduct a briefing where they vocalize exactly what they will do if the engine fails at a specific second. They don't hope it won't happen. They decide what to do when it happens. But the pilot's discipline doesn't end when the engines stop. The true mastery of catastrophe happens on the ground, in the silence of the debriefing room. Here, every action is dissected, and every excuse is stripped away. To improve, you must first survive the autopsy of your own performance. Section 5. The Black Box of Self-Accountability. In most jobs, if you have a good day, you go home and forget about it. If you have a bad day, you make excuses. The client was difficult. The market was down. I was tired. In aviation, there is no such thing as an excuse. There is only data. Every flight ends with a debrief. This is perhaps the most brutal part of their discipline. The captain and the first officer sit down and perform a clinical autopsy on their performance. They don't look for what went right. They look for the threats and errors. I noticed you were 10 knots fast on the approach. Why? I missed your call out at 1,000 feet. My focus was elsewhere. It won't happen again. This is a culture of total accountability. In the cockpit, there is no hierarchy when it comes to the truth. A junior first officer is encouraged, demanded, to correct a senior captain if he makes a mistake. This is called CRM, Crew Resource Management. It is the discipline to put the mission above your pride. How many of us have the courage to ask for that kind of feedback? How many of us are willing to sit down every night and analyze our day with the cold, objective eye of a crash investigator? To achieve zero error, you must become your own harshest critic. You must be willing to look at your black box and admit where you drifted off course. But the black box isn't just a flight recorder, it is a mirror. Once you stop making excuses and start looking at the data of your own life, you stop being a passenger. You are ready to take the controls. It is time to step into the role of the commander. Section 6. Conclusion. The commander of the void. The brutal discipline of an airline pilot is not about being a robot. It is about the preservation of human life through the suppression of human weakness. It is a lifestyle of constant vigilance. It is the understanding that you are only as good as your next landing. The stripes on a pilot's shoulder aren't a reward for past glory. They are a reminder of the current burden. The zero-error mindset is a choice. It is the choice to favor systems over luck. It is the choice to favor preparation over hope. It is the choice to be the captain of your soul rather than a passenger in your own life. When you leave this video, look at your own cockpit. Look at your business, your habits, your goals. Are you relying on talent? Are you letting your ego fly the plane? Or do you have the discipline to follow the checklist? The sky does not forgive. Neither does the market. Neither does life. Stop being a passenger. Start the engines. Follow the protocol. And whatever happens, aviate. If you have the courage to face the data of your own life, you belong with us. Hit the subscribe button to join our mission and master the protocols of the world's elite. Our next briefing is already prepared. We will be deconstructing the mental warfare of the Special Forces. Stay disciplined.